Hi Kerry, hi Frida. Thank you for meeting me today. It's World Ovarian Cancer Day today, and I thought that it is such a nice way to celebrate the collaboration between different cancer care organizations across the world by talking to people. So I would like to focus on a couple of things today. For example, what does Think Pink do for people suffering of cancer, awareness creation, not just for breast cancer but other cancers as well. And then we can definitely talk about ovarian cancer specifically. So would you like to start by telling us a bit about Think Pink?
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much, Nimkee, for initiating this. It's a great initiative. We always love to promote awareness, and I think that it's particularly important on something like Ovarian Cancer Day because ovarian cancer is one of those subtle cancers we don't really know enough about. There's not really
Silent killer.
Silent killer, exactly. So at Think Pink Lux, we started out about 16 years ago, 2009, as a breast cancer organisation. I'm a nurse, and it was really to fill a gap, I think, in Luxembourg. As expats here, as immigrants here in Luxembourg, there are some great services, but not English-speaking people wanted something in their own language. When they were diagnosed, they would head home for treatment because it's like, I'm not staying here, I don't understand what's happening. We started as a group to support women whilst they were going through their journeys with cancer. Gynecological cancers, it's difficult to say women because we also need to remember that people transitioning may still have female parts, may still have parts that they were born with that may put them at risk, and also they might be taking hormones that might put them at higher risk of having a gynecological cancer.
We make sure we're looking after their carers too, and we arrange a lot of different activities, be that Sunday urban strolls, Wednesday weekly walk, or at the moment we're doing some ING marathon training for the ladies and gentlemen that are running in the 5K. So that's the sort of thing.
So let's get into the question. So we were talking about the symptoms of ovarian cancer earlier, and the symptoms are extremely vague. Women get those symptoms when they're going through premenstrual syndrome or endometriosis, PCOS, any kind of uterine issue. So how accessible do you think is ovarian cancer screening and diagnosis in Luxembourg when the symptoms are so vague? Is there any specific screening methodology we have in Luxembourg?
I mean, that's very difficult. It's a difficult one because there is no screening either here in Luxembourg or globally for ovarian cancer. There's research into it, but unlike breast or cervical cancer where we have a good tool for screening, there isn't one. It's bloating. It's frequent urination. Things aren't quite right with the stomach.
I, for example, thought that I'm putting on weight and I need to exercise more, when it was actually cancer and I never knew about it.
Yeah, something's not normal for you. Make a note of it, put it in your journal, mark it on your phone, and then keep a record of it for say 2 weeks. And if in 2 weeks and it's still happening, then go and see your doctor.
You mentioned perimenopause, and while I understand that hitting menopause can be very evident for women, but perimenopause is still vague. So you think that, at least I feel this, and please tell me how you feel about it, the awareness about perimenopause as a phase itself is pretty low. It's growing up, but do you think it's required that women know about it a little more?
I mean, I think it's definitely becoming more common for people to hear about perimenopause, and yeah, I mean, it's also pretty vague. But menopause is very distinct. Your periods can come and go. Typically in your 40s, but it can start in your 30s. And we've had some women, young, late 20s as well.
And I guess the connection between stress, cancer, and then early puberty, early perimenopause, early menopause, this is all somehow connected. Because stress was found as a really, high-risk marker for cancer. So if you know that you're in perimenopause, it's easier for women to track.
There are things that you can do, lifestyle changes that you can make that can help. I mean, stress causes inflammation in the body.
No, but it contributes to it.
It can contribute.
Same as sugar.
Yeah, exactly. These things, if you are completely stressed, we know that it can increase your risk of you're going to get cancer. We've been told for many years painful periods are normal, and so we put up with a lot. Although it's very rare in endometriosis, there can be a higher risk of ovarian cancer or uterine cancer, depending on where those endometriosis is in the body. It can, doesn't necessarily mean it will, but be an increased risk factor for ovarian cancer. So it's important, if somebody is having painful periods, that they are heard, that they are listened to. It's not normal to have painful periods. We think it is, and we've been told for years it is. It's not normal.
Yeah. So there's an evident connection between fitness and then relief from cancer or recovery or something like that.
I think it helps to focus your mind on different things. So being outside, being in the open air and everything else, and being with a group of people, like-minded people who want to do
I experienced the walk and it was absolutely great. The level of energy I felt on that particular day I was shocked that I could walk that much.
We also do yoga classes. We also run yoga classes. We have 2 different yoga classes. The research is overwhelmingly positive for exercise in cancer, for it.
Moving on from the activities, what's your view on the psychological and emotional support available to people with cancer in Luxembourg? If you could talk a bit about it.
One of the ways that we work is by offering support, getting women together, and they have that shared experience. One of the wonderful things that we did last year, I think, was to start a men's group. So for men with cancer and men who have a partner who has cancer.
So I totally agree with you. And I think in Luxembourg it's great that this facility is available. There are quite a few countries where this is not available as a facility from the government.
Yes, yeah.
So I think really people should look at availing this. The occurrence of cancer has increased in younger people now. So how do you think this should be approached? The awareness of how cancer can be prevented, not the 20% that is genetic, but the part that is caused due to lifestyle. Awareness about this among young people. How do you think it should be targeted?
Of that, because Carrie does go to the schools in Luxembourg and goes and gives presentations and talks about cancers and talks about everything, health for the young people. So I would say that Carrie is doing that already now, and she continues to fly with that.
When you talk to young men and they say, what's the common age, or what's the most common age to have testicular cancer? I don't know, 55. When you say sort of 19 to 24, it's very rare for them to know that, but it kind of brings it home to them. And then if you can highlight that there's some young celebrity or something who might have had that, and young people who've had breast cancer and ovarian cancer, they're advocating, they're turning their experience so that they can share that experience and raise awareness. It really is, but we have to kind of frame it in ways that young people will understand.
And we'll be giving out care bags to the hospitals in Luxembourg, and we do that in collaboration with Think Pink Europe. We will be having 300 care bags. We will also be including information about ovarian cancer into those care bags, because we do know that there is sometimes a link if somebody has a similar BRAC number, if I remember correctly. But we will be putting those into the bags, just really raising awareness. And for anybody in Luxembourg who has ovarian cancer or any other cancer, they can certainly come and talk to us and join any of our activities and get help that way.
This is absolutely surreal. Thank you so much, Frida. Thank you so much, Carrie, for having this conversation. And we'll have this video uploaded on the WOC Instagram handle and hopefully on Facebook as well today. So for more people to see, and I hope people come up to you and talk about this more. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Carrie Cannon. I'm the director and founder of Think Pink Lux. I'm a nurse. I've never had cancer. I have a bachelor's and a master's in public health, and I'm now working as I'm a registered health coach. In my field of work, I work with many women as well as who have cancer, as well as through my work with Think Pink Lux. Today on World Ovarian Cancer Day, I'd really just like to highlight the importance and the availability too here in Luxembourg of genetic testing. We have a dedicated laboratoire where genetic counselling is available. Genetic testing is particularly important where there has been a family history of breast or gynecological cancer, or any other cancer really. But when it's available, it's perhaps sometimes underutilised because people don't always know about it. So how would you go about getting genetic testing if you're a young person and you think, okay, I have a family history of ovarian cancer? how might I get tested here in Luxembourg to check whether I'm at risk. So what I would do is go and see a GP and discuss your family history with your GP, and then your GP can decide whether or not it's relevant or appropriate for you to have the genetic test. Then you will be directed to, you'll be given a prescription, and then you can, from there you can go to the Laboratoire National, where you will be able to make an appointment. There's, I think, an online contact form. You'll be able to make an appointment to have the genetic test. So whilst I'm talking from Luxembourg, where we have a really good national health service, I appreciate that you may be watching this from somewhere else in the world. And still, I think it's really worth checking with your general practitioner, your healthcare provider. But there are also companies in certain countries who might do genetic testing, and you might be able to avail of their services to know if you have a family history of cancer. Sometimes you have to advocate for yourself.
Hello guys, I'm Miriam from Luxembourg. I'm a physiotherapist, and I'm just showing you several things you can do after hysterectomy or even after belly surgery. I'm today more focusing on strengthening your deepest belly muscle, which is quite important after you got the surgery, and it's a quite soft exercise you can do to train, and we call it the transversus abdominis. It's the deepest muscle you need to train to get actually your abdominal fit again. You need to keep your back straight, don't move your pelvis. You inhale deeply through your nose, you exhale through your mouth. While you're exhaling, you try to get your belly in and up, okay? So starting, you inhale, you exhale, take your belly in and up, and keep the contraction for 10 seconds. There are several intensities you can do, so this is the first one, just to try to catch the technique. Inhaling, exhaling, getting your belly, and try to keep the contraction for around 10 seconds. Now you can try to inhale, exhale, take in your belly. If you can keep it in, you can try to lift up your butt and keep it also for 10 seconds. And third exercise would be inhale, exhale, take in your belly as usual, keep it in, and stretch one leg. If you can't hold your belly inside, the exercise is still too difficult for you, then keep those easy ones with the leg down, just keeping your belly, or you can also push yourself down like this. Always keep your back straight. Quite an important point is when you get in belly surgery, avoid about pulling yourself up to avoid actually the tear on your scarf. So try to sit down slightly and slowly, and you try at first to lay it sideways and turn in one block on your back. Never get up like this, because it's putting too much pressure on your scarf. So again, for standing up, try to turn first on your side slightly and push yourself with your hand and your elbow and up. I hope you had this pleasure looking at my video, and that I could help you. So I wish you a good walk and Ovarian Cancer Day.
Nestled in Western Europe, Luxembourg is a small but mighty country, just over 2,500 kilometers square, with a population of around 660,000. It has about 90 to 120 days of sunlight every year, but it doesn't stop its inhabitants from experiencing all sorts of sportive activities around the year. with over 5,000 kilometers of marked hiking trails. It's a paradise for walkers of all age and level. Mullerthal Trail is quite famous here. Similarly, the Gutland trails. Cycling and jogging and walking are pretty huge. There are over 600 of marked bike paths with dedicated signs and scenic trails connecting towns and nature parks. Look at this beautiful landscape. Swimming is part of the national school curriculum. Every school has courses that teaches children this really essential life skill very early. Yoga, Reiki, Chinese medicine are slowly becoming part of the daily life, with classes and holistic centers found in nearly every commune. Luxembourg has this eternal love for skiing, with so many skiing sites offering fun for all skill levels in the colder month. The country is so close to the Alps, the very beautiful Alps. Every commune has its sports center. The government encourages schools to offer extensive sports courses. Many of them are actually free. There are courses for senior citizens, for kids, for everyone. There are tennis courts. There are football fields. There are badminton courts. People love to play paddle. Even during cancer treatment, gentle fitness like walking, light yoga, and supervised rehab sessions can boost recovery, balance mood, and help you feel more in control. Luxembourg government provides free physiotherapy to cancer patients. You don't have to pause your strength, you just have to adapt to it.